and their traditional ways of knowing and caring for this land, as well as all Aboriginal peoples who have helped shape and continue to strengthen our university community. This morning we have Tammy Rogness, who's a graduate program administrator for the Dhillon School of Business, and she will be presenting about the Master of Science in Management. After her presentation, there will be an opportunity to ask questions, and you can use either the chat option or the Q&A. Also, just to note, there's a message in the chat for everyone to see that this will be a recorded session, and it will be available in a few days on the Future Graduate Student site. So I'll turn the time over to you, Tammy.
Thanks, Mary. Okay, welcome everybody. I am just going to quickly share my screen here so you can see my slides, and we'll get going. Okay, everybody can see my slides, I'm hoping, because I can't see any of you anymore once I share my slides. So today I'll be talking about Dhillon School of Business, Master of Science Management program, a very different, unique program, different from an MBA, where an MBA teaches the practice of management and actual management skills. The MSc Management program is preparing students for research-oriented type of career. So whether you're thinking of working as a consultant or as an analyst, financial analyst in the governments, or maybe pursuing a career in academia and getting your PhD, becoming a fully tenured professor, this is a great stepping stone to that program. So I'm going to go over a few general slides here this morning with some basic information about the program. And then at the end, I have just a short little 2-minute video that I'm hoping will work and we can all watch it. It's a quick student testimonial, and then we'll open up to some questions, and then we'll all get on with the rest of our day. So on my next slide, just a quick program overview. All of our courses in this program are teaching students, giving them the skills so they can design their own research question. Maybe there's this burning question you need answered, to be able to run their own research program, and then at the end come up with a thesis of publishable quality. So you'll learn many research skills such as data collection and analyzing, running experiments, conducting interviews. Each student in this program will do a research project or a research study in a particular major. So when you apply to the program, you apply to either the accounting, finance, human resources, international management, marketing, or policy and strategy majors. That is going to be your research area. So some of the great things that we offer here with our program is we have nice small class sizes. Each year, we look to admit somewhere between 15 to maybe 20 students in one cohort. Keeps it nice and small, a little more individualized. We offer some very rigorous research training. We have a nice big, what I like to call a cohort room for all of our first-year students, where everybody gets their own individual secured workstation, but you're all still in kind of one big room where you can share ideas and talk about your courses. We also offer some great competitive funding, up to the $19,200 for full-time students. That is a combination of graduate assistantships and what we call an ULGRA award, which is the University of uLethbridge Graduate Research Award. So there's a combination of those two. Funding is decided upon admission, and funding decisions are put on a student's letter of offer, so you know what you have coming to you before you accept your offer. Our program is quite flexible. You can attend as a full-time or a part-time student at either of our campuses at Calgary or here at the main campus in Lethbridge. The classes are at the same day, same time, regardless of what campus you're at, and we use high quality video conference technology to connect the two classrooms together. So sometimes the instructor is here at the Lethbridge campus, sometimes they're at the Calgary campus, depending on who's teaching that day. So we bring the two classrooms together for great discussions. My next slide is the fun stuff, the application requirements. Basically the same as many other graduate programs. We look for that 4-year bachelor's degree. In this MSc management program, we prefer students that already have degrees in management, business, or commerce. And we seek out students that have that strong foundational knowledge in that chosen major, like I mentioned before. So the accounting, marketing, finance, any of those 6 majors, an applicant should have a strong foundational knowledge in that area already. Because like I said, we're teaching students how to conduct research. We're not specifically teaching accounting or finance or marketing. We're teaching students how to conduct high-level research into issues that affect management within that specific area. So that's the degree requirement. There is an admission GPA requirement, which is 3 on our 4 scale. We use the last 20 university graded courses on your transcript to calculate that admission GPA. If your degree is from outside of Canada, there are English language proficiency requirements that need to be met. This program also requires a GMAT. So the minimum GMAT score is 600. We like to see 4 on the analytical writing section of the program, and all the individual bands should be in the 50th percentile or higher. We require 3 letters of reference. These can be academic or professional. We're looking for somebody who can speak to your ability as a graduate student. So if you had any sort of research experience, or you want to focus in on showing you have the foundational knowledge in a specific area, you were working for a marketing, you were doing some marketing work, you would want to get somebody from that employer to talk about your marketing skills, just to kind of showcase that. You'll need your resume or your CV and a letter of intent, which is a really important piece of an application, especially for this type of program. All your documents are uploaded into our online application system. So we need your unofficial transcripts, so documents that are showing the grades that you've accomplished to date, because you can always apply even though your degree may still be in progress. We need those grades so we're able to do the initial calculation of the GPA. So it's very important that you are able to upload those transcripts or some sort of verification of the grades that you've achieved. And a letter of intent you upload into the system, same with your CV. The reference letters, you don't have your references send you the letters. What happens is within the online application, you provide the email address and contact information of the person that's agreed to be your reference. Then our system will contact that person and have them upload their own letter or fill out the online reference form that will be provided to them. The letter of intent, like I talked about before, I have another slide here. It's a really vital piece of your application. We get lots of applications from applicants who meet all the minimum requirements. This is your chance to set yourself apart from other applicants. Within this letter of intent, it's really important you talk about your strong foundational knowledge in your chosen major, especially if perhaps your degree isn't in accounting or isn't in marketing. You want to talk about your experiences so you can show faculty that are reviewing your file that you have the knowledge in that particular area to conduct the research. You'll want to talk about your research ideas, not saying that what you say in your letter of intent isn't what you actually have to do once you get here, but it lets our faculty members know that you have interest in conducting research and that you completely understand this is a research type of program. Those were the quick little slides that I had just to kind of quickly run through the program. I do have a couple of testimonials here on the screen. Janelle, who's currently the executive director of United Way, she gave us a nice little quote about her program. And if I can get this video to work, I'd really love to show you this video about Jackson. I'm going to quickly click on my screen here. I'm really hoping everybody can still see this. Waiting.
I chose the University of Lethbridge because it's multicultural. It's a mix and a hub of international students from all over the world. And the institution in itself is not only highly competitive, but it has positioned itself for the future. What attracted me to the Master of Science program at the Dhillon School of Business was more its research-based approach. The curriculum in itself positions students to recognize and appreciate the depth of what it takes to conduct academic research from start to finish. The graduate research assistantship offered me the opportunity to put into practice the things that I've been able to learn so far in the program. It afforded me the platform to understand how to gather data and to explore options in recognizing how to identify gaps that exist in the current literature. While working under a faculty member here, also gave us the opportunity to submit and make 2 presentations at the Academy of Management. One was in Chicago and then the other one was in Massachusetts. For me as an international student and as a master's student, that gave me the hands-on experience to learn from one of the best in the world. My thesis is about careers work, gender role, and work-life balance in academia. Its emphasis is more on contract academic staff and understanding how these individuals in precarious employment juggle the myriad of responsibilities that they have in balancing their professional and private lives. The program in itself demands that you step up your game to ask yourself the questions that not everyone will be comfortable with. I've been able to question myself on things that prior to joining I would have ignored. So asking those questions and being bold enough to get the confidence to tackle questions that individuals scare or shy away from has made me the holistic researcher that I am today.
Okay. I think I'm done sharing my programs now. Okay. So, are there anybody out there with any questions? Anything in the chat or in the Q&A? I am going to put my email address in the chat. So then anybody can email me. If you have any specific questions. Hello, Gloria.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. My name is Gloria. I am looking after the graduate programs portfolio within DSB. Really, we appreciate you having taking the time here, taking the time today to be here with us, attending this open house session. Sorry that I was running a little bit earlier today. Tammy, you did a fantastic job for doing this.
Thank you. It's always nerve-wracking.
You did really well. Anyways, I wanted to say that Tammy is our program administrator for the MSc Management program. She has the best knowledge really about this program inside out. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a shout out. If Tammy, you are more than capable to answer them, but if there's anything I can add on, I will try to do so. I see 2 hands up. And
yeah, I see them. I see a question from Mary asking if there's funding available to international students. Yes, Mary, that funding that I mentioned before, it's up to $19,200. That's available to domestic and international students that your students are automatically considered for. So this is where the importance of a strong application and a really good letter of intent comes into play, because we're using the information from the application as a way to help us make decisions on funding. So I hope that I've answered your question there. If not, please let me know. I have another question. Somebody is living in Calgary, currently at the Calgary campus, simply because it's offered at the time. Can I work and do school? Is this a similar situation with grad school? Yes, you are free to work as much as you feel like you need to during your program. We don't limit the amount of hours students work outside of their program. The only international students on their study permit are regulated by how many hours they can work. That's a whole immigration issue that is outside of what we can control. But yes, I have many students that work other types of jobs outside of their programs. Our GA funding is paid work, so you'll be students given admission are awarded a GA. Normally, full GAs are they're $3,600 for 112 hours of work. Normally, a GA is awarded one, maybe two of those per term. So it kind of gives you an idea of the type of funding that some students, our top quality students, will receive. So it's perfectly fine to work and go to school at the same time. Just make sure that you're always, if you're a full-time student, we expect you to be a full-time student and dedicate the most time that you can towards your studies. Part-time students, unfortunately, aren't eligible for the ALGRA award, but they are eligible for GA funding if they choose to accept that. And then,
sorry, can I
yes.
just interrupt? Yeah.
Yes.
I see two hands up and I see questions in the chat window.
Oh,
perhaps
good.
we can balance the two of them because I think those questions are from different individuals here.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure whether Maud and Mohammed, whoever is the first to put their hands up, perhaps you could speak and then we can come back to the questions in the chat window.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think they can actually talk because of the webinar. So
okay.
they'll need to type your questions either in the Q&A or in the actual chat. And
thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then we could go back to the chat window, I suppose. I think there are Q&A.
Yeah, I think I've got, well. Yeah, I have one from Mohammed. He says he has a few questions, but I don't know what the question is. Let's see, just, there are a couple of questions in Q&A, yes. Let's see, so Sigun, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Presentation, question clarifying about the GMAT and English test. Can I get away from the GMAT? There are some instances where a GMAT waiver is considered. We have what's called a special case GMAT waiver. So if your bachelor's degree is also accredited by an external body like AACSB, like our Dhillon's, like our Bachelor of Management program is, and you have a last course GPA of 3.7 on our 4 scale, we can consider you for a special case GMAT waiver. There's also a GMAT waiver for students that have already completed a graduate degree, like another master's degree. Sometimes we get many students applying to this program that already have an MBA. So if that MBA degree program is also externally accredited by an external governing body, those are also considered on a case-by-case for a GMAT waiver. Now, I hesitate to encourage GMAT waivers. They're rare, and we get a lot of applications from students. We have a limited enrollment, only a few faculty members that are eligible to supervise. So it's best to sit and prepare for the GMAT and provide the best application you possibly can. Submitting the GMAT score makes for a very strong application. Not saying that those with GMAT waivers aren't admitted into the program either. It's just that it's very competitive. If you don't make the GMAT waiver, but we still would like to offer you admission, what happens in those situations is it would be a conditional offer pending the GMAT score. So then you would need to write the GMAT before July 1st so we can get all the scores in and make sure that all the minimum requirements are met before the program starts in September. So there are a few instances where we have GMAT waivers, but it's not something that's very done a lot. And for the English test, I can put the link here in the chat. There is English language proficiency requirements. Some countries are considered, the University of Lethbridge considers already English speaking, so then that waiver's been, or that requirement has been met. If you need to write the IELTS or you want to write the TOEFL, the minimum IELTS score is an overall of 6.5 with no band less than 6. And I hope that answered your question in the chat. Any more? All right. Any other questions out there? See anything else, Gloria? Can you give us a idea of how much funding a student can get? Oh, the WES evaluation. Okay, MSc in marketing. I need to read through this question. The WES evaluations are nice, but we are still going to need your actual transcripts. Oh yes, they are accepting Duolingo tests for the English requirement. But no, you'll need the last 10 course GPA of 3.7 to qualify for, to be considered for the GMAT waiver. Okay, criteria is for how much funding a student can get. And Gloria is typing that answer in. Or at least that's what it says.
Oh, sorry, I was just trying to clarify.
Oh, okay.
Send it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was just a question asking about the funding. I wasn't entirely sure whether it was about the dollar amount of the funding opportunity or was that about the exact evaluation criteria.
Yeah, and it'll vary per applicant. Like I said, it really depends on the strength of the application. So the information on the application will be really important. That letter of intent, I can't stress how important that letter of intent is. You know, make sure you're putting in some effort into that. We'll like get lots of applications and the letter of intent is talking about a completely different school. Now I understand that students apply for lots of different schools and I would expect them to because you need to blanket all of your opportunities. But please be sure that it's very articulate and you're talking about the University of Lethbridge, you're talking about your research and really showcasing all your talents in your letter of intent. That'll help with how we rank students for funding when we're reviewing applications. We have another one. Let's see, working. Okay, so the first thing, so I have an applicant asking about his degrees from India. I didn't touch on this in my presentation, but you do need to realize that there are international degree requirements as well. So for applicants with degrees from outside of Canada, we have a list of international degree requirements per country, which we consider equivalent to our 4-year degree. So for example, from India, degrees need to be awarded in, now I'm guessing, and I probably shouldn't do that, awarded in first division to meet our international degree requirements. Also needs to be a 4-year degree. 3-year degrees are accepted if they're accompanied by the master's degree, or if they have NAAAC accreditation with an A grade. Those types of 3-year degrees are considered equivalent to our 4-year degree. So there will be some international degree requirements that we'll need to sort out. The IELTS score of 7 is fine, as long as it's the academic IELTS, not the general IELTS. I'm just going to bring up, oh, there we go. I'm just going to find the link to the international degree requirements and plop those in the chat room, into the chat. So you have that link so you can check it. And I'll also put the English language proficiency requirement link in there as well. I mean, I can always share my screen and show the ELP page if that helps people as well. I can even do that if that helps folks find what they need. Perfect. Thank you, Gloria. The other one here. Do you see any other questions there, Gloria, that we can take care of while I find this link? Should have had these all open to begin with.
I see a couple of messages from one of the students. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure how do I pronounce it correctly. Note Flower Sun. We would certainly encourage you to apply if you are interested in our program. As Tammy correctly pointed out, if your degree is from a university from outside of Canada, there are certain things that you have to go through in order to ensure that your degree can be assessed as the quote unquote equivalent to our degree as well. And with respect to your previous work experience, certainly we do value that, but please, once again, and this really is for everybody, please do bear in mind that currently our MSc in management degree has a research focus. This is not necessarily geared towards a degree that is for industry placements. Although I do want to mention as well that more than half of our graduates actually work in industry after they have graduated. Some of our graduates, of course, they will move on and do and pursue PhD degrees and so on and so forth, and potentially a career in academia. But yeah, we do have students after graduation who will work in certain industries. However, once again, having that said, as it currently stands, our MSc Management program has a research focus.
Thanks, Gloria. I see in the chat, Mary's asking, she has a higher national diploma and a master's degree from Nigeria. Mary, if those are second class upper division, you'll be fine. Higher national diplomas not accepted. Diploma, we don't consider it equivalent to our 4-year degree, but the combination of your master's degree and your higher national diploma would then meet our degree requirements, but you'd still be required for that GMAT because you're using the master's degree to meet the degree requirements. We can't use the master's degree for the GMAT waiver.
Yeah.
Funny rules, but that's the way they are. Now, Mary's just asked, there are some Q&A ones here, I think. Let's see if I can get. Okay, let's see. Do you need to review any? Okay. Engineering. Okay, so there's a question, a student has a degree in mechanical engineering. Those types of degrees we would have to consider on a case-by-case basis. I can't make that decision. I'm going to guess that maybe mechanical engineering may be for the finance major, but it really depends. I mean, policy and strategy really depends on your research interests. If you're looking for something like within the finance or accounting, marketing, marketing and HR majors, those are pretty specific, and those faculty members are looking for students that have academic experience in those types of areas. So they're looking for transcripts that have those courses in there. So with a degree like mechanical engineering, you're going to really want that really strong letter of intent and references to show that you have the foundational knowledge in your research area to enable you to conduct that research. Because again, remember, we're not teaching actual marketing, we're not teaching actual finance. We're giving you the tools so you can conduct your own research study about that specific topic. Hopefully that answers your question. But feel free, if you want to email me your transcript, I can take a look at it and kind of give you my take on it, but we can't give anything formal consideration until you actually submit the application and pay the application fee. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, because you've got good, you could have good work experience. You've already completed an MBA in marketing. That's perfect. So that, I'm just gonna type this in here. So yes, your MBA in marketing would really help your chances of being admitted to the MSc marketing major, because now you've got that foundational knowledge at a graduate level in marketing through your MBA. So that would be good. And I can take a look at your transcripts to see if they meet the international degree requirements or not. My email address. Oh, I'm supposed to hit send. There. Benefits of doing this over doing an MBA. That depends on what you're looking for. If you don't have a degree in management, business, or commerce, the MBA may be more of what you're looking for. If you're looking at actual management training at a graduate level, an MBA is more suited to that. Those that have MBAs have the degrees in mechanical engineering, or they have a chemistry degree and now they've got an MBA because they want to learn that management concept. If you already have that management background and you're interested in conducting research, then you come into the MSc management program. So one's not better than the other. They just do two completely different things. So MSc management, if you like conducting research, writing research papers, the MSc management program is a better fit. If you want to learn the actual practice of management and dig down into specific management skills, an MBA is what you're going to be looking for. Unfortunately, University of uLethbridge doesn't offer an MBA, but there are other really great institutions that can provide you with great MBAs as well. Okay. Are there any other questions here? I need to maybe those. I think I have the questions. Being a part-time student, how long does it take to complete the program? Basically, instead of the 20 months as a full-time student, you would have 40. So you would have, instead of almost 2 years, you would have almost 4 years to complete. So part-time student just has a little bit longer to complete. Other than that, it's the same program, it's the same courses. You would just use the first couple of years, year and a half to complete all your coursework, and then use the remaining time to conduct your research study and write your thesis. And Anybody else with any more questions? I think I've got these live ones all answered in the Q&A. Oh,
Yeah, I hope we haven't missed any questions, but if we did miss anything, please feel free to retype your questions in the Q&A or chat window.
see anything else out there? I see no open questions. I think I've answered them all. Calgary campus one I answered. Just scrolling through.
Tammy, there's one more. Can I take a break while doing the degree? I suppose.
Is that in the chat?
Q&A.
In the Q&A? Oh, can you take a break while doing the degree? There is a way you can apply for what we call a leave of absence. It's basically there, you know, for some extenuating circumstance. So you get sick, or you need to go help a family member. Sometimes we have applicants that need to go off on maternity leave. So that's what a leave of absence is for. So if you have a situation that forces you that you need to take a break, you can take a break. Leave of absences are for up to a year. They do need to be approved by the program committee, so there would be a vote and that sort of thing that would need to happen. But so, yes, you could take a break if it was something that was, you know, a serious circumstance, but mostly students need to maintain continuous registration throughout their entire program. And how many students you select in a particular semester for international management? We don't limit per, we don't have a designated a number for each area, because every year we get a variety of number of for each major. So some years, you know, it might be a whole bunch of international management applications and 2 or 3 marketing. So it really depends on the number of applicants that we receive for each major and how many faculty members we have willing to supervise. Roughly maybe 3 or 4 students per major is probably a safe guesstimate. What do you think, Gloria?
But I do agree with you, Tammy. It varies from one year to another. And the other thing I want to add to Tammy's answer is we only have annual intakes. At the moment, we only have fall intakes, not necessarily spring.
Oh, there we go. I finally, sorry, my screen was really small and I couldn't see anything.
Oh, okay.
What's going on? Okay, that's good.
Oh, there's another one. Master's and PhD transition. No, okay. Transition into PhD. No, okay, I'll let you answer that. Sorry.
Okay. The University of Lethbridge itself does, there is a PhD. So somebody who's currently in a master's program in the University of Lethbridge could apply to transfer to a PhD. It's not a hard process, though the University of Lethbridge doesn't offer anything in the Dhillon School of Business at a PhD level. I do have a master's student that has gone through, I can't remember if I don't think he's graduated yet, who is in a current U of L PhD program, but it's not Dhillon School of Business. It's not a business PhD program. I believe it's, I can't even remember what major it is within the program, but now I need to find it. So his major was the cultural, social, and political thought. there is a PhD major. And so I do have one MSc management student that is in that program, but he didn't do the transfer type of situation. He completed his Master's of Science and Management degree and then applied to the PhD program. So we don't have anything that are traditionally set up. We don't have a pathway set up yet for a PhD in management. But there is possibility to maybe a different major, and it's just a different application. I hope that answered your question. Else? Kind of. That one's done. Okay, it's looking a little quiet. Anybody have any other questions? Or need any other sort of information? I like that I see 13 people that are here. I'm actually kind of curious to know how you found out about this information session. If any of the participants would like to share that with me. I believe it was posted on the website, so maybe you all did a really good job. Oh, good. Perfect. Was it an email that I had sent you, or was it something, because I added a quick little line in one of my responses that I sent to students, and I was wondering if it was my email or if you received something from somebody else. Oh, good. Email from a friend. That's great. Perfect. Oh, and you're applying. Good. First year total fees for international student. So our fees for 2022 haven't been posted yet, but currently right now an international student pays roughly $27,200 for the full program. The first year of tuition and fees is a little bit more, because in the first 3 terms, there are
96.
fees. Yeah, and in the last 3 terms, you're assessed a continuation fee because you're just registered in your thesis course. So the fees are a little less. Do you have them in front of you, Gloria?
Pulling that information out. I'll post it in the chat window.
Oh, and here's the question about the PhD. We don't have a formal pathway to transition to a PhD program. The Dhillon School of Business doesn't offer a PhD program. There is one major within the University of Lethbridge PhD program that I know an MSc student had applied for and gotten in. It's called Cultural, Social, and Political Thought. I haven't done an MSc transfer to a PhD program within MSc. So if you want to go ahead and apply and get admitted, it'll be something new for me to try. I have recently went through the process with health sciences, so it's not a painful process. You just need to have your supervisor and everything all set up. So it is possible to ask for a transfer to a PhD program, but we don't really have a transfer or a transition type of laddering program into a PhD program yet. But this program is an excellent preparation for a PhD program. Many of our students get into very reputable PhD programs like at Queen's, Texas A&M, University of Alberta, University of Victoria. There's been a few in the UK. There's been
perhaps Australia as well.
Australia as well. I